Hello, my name is Jodi Low, and this is the Leadership Lowdown, powered by the BBB and You and Improved. The Leadership Lowdown cuts through the clutter and gets to the heart of what makes businesses tick. We want to share the stories that matter to you, all of the successes and triumphs and all of the pitfalls, and everything that happens in between. So with that, let's get on to today's show. Welcome to the Leadership Lowdown. I am so excited because I am sitting across from such a force to be reckoned with, and she's looking at me like I'm like a little crazy here, but she's also like owning her greatness right now, which I so love. Miss Treger Strasberg, who is the founder of Humble Design. And I have to be completely honest. I was reading all about you and your background, and I was like literally on the edge of my chair yesterday going, I cannot wait to have this conversation because you are amazing. And I want everyone to learn all about you. So please tell us about you and Humble Design and how this all came to be, because you started in 2009. Am I right?
Well, first of all, that's a lot of pressure.
Okay. So no pressure. Deep breath, no pressure.
We're seriously not that rad.
I think you're way more rad.
I appreciate you. So I grew up in San Diego, and I moved around. I had my kids in Miami, and I ended up, as everyone does, outside of Detroit.
Okay.
My husband and my two kids and I, we moved to Detroit in 2008.
Okay.
In the middle of the zombie apocalypse.
Yes.
In Detroit. And he was in advertising. We got a really good opportunity there.
Okay.
Well, so I'm in graphic design, and I started volunteering my time when my kids were real little.
Mm-hmm.
And I run into a lady at the nonprofit that I work with, and she and I are having coffee, and I find out about 6 weeks into the relationship that she's homeless. And that just started my whole career. Here I am. Anyway, so
amazing. And isn't it just a chance encounter?
It was we became friends, and she ran the front office. And in 2008, it was a pretty common story for people to be on hard times in Detroit, especially. She and her two kids, which were my kids' age, were living in a homeless shelter, and I just about fell out my chair when I found out. Anyway, she found housing. I'm going to sort of encapsulate the story a little bit, but she found housing. When I went to go see her housing, they were so excited to be out of the shelter, but they were sleeping on the floor with their coats in little nests of the rooms that they had claimed for themselves. And I cry a lot, which I hope that to God you don't find out during this podcast that I cry a lot, but I tend to cry a lot, and I cried on the way home from visiting them. And then when I got home, I pulled out everything out of my own house that I could drive back down so they would feel more comfortable. I didn't know anybody in Detroit. I had been there about 6 weeks, but I forced myself to go to my neighbor's house and ask them if they had anything for my friend. And then I forced myself at the grocery store line to ask the people behind me and in front of me if they had anything. And my friend and I drove her pickup truck around and then just drove everything down to her house to make it a home, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so it took us 6 weeks. But I encourage you to go online and look at the befores and afters of our very first home. Her name is Krista, and we decorated it within an inch of its life, and we got her all the things that made her feel like home. We framed her pictures on the wall. We painted, musical instruments for her kids in the basement because she's my friend, and I love her, and I want to see her feel represented in her home.
Absolutely.
Very quickly, I became known as the furniture lady, apparently.
Oh, okay, sure.
No, not furniture lady. I was not hoping that was going to happen, but everybody started dropping stuff off at my house.
Oh, no.
Thinking that I was going to be donating it to this person who's in need. I had no intention of starting a nonprofit. In fact, I did not know what a 501c3 was at this point. Anyway, about 500 drop-offs later, where I tried to find a place for all this stuff to go and not be resold, I think I got tapped on the shoulder by the universe and was just like, girl, this is what you're supposed to do. And rather than denying it, I was just like, okay. Started the nonprofit in 2009. We had my garage and a bunch of volunteers. We furnished one home every 6 weeks of an individual coming out of a homeless shelter. I'm going to yada. Now we have served in 5 states. We have 30,000 to 60,000 square foot warehouses in each location. We served 11,000 individuals so far, and only 1% of our clients have fallen back into homelessness, as opposed to around 50% nationwide without our help.
So, oh my goodness.
And what we do, like literally in San Diego, we furnish 3 homes a week the exact same way we furnished my friend's home the very first time I did it, which is just matching each homeowner or renter with the things that they want to see in their house and not just giving them furniture.
Right.
It's actually an interior design function.
Yeah.
And so I think what ends up happening is people see themselves reflected in their home and they feel love and community surrounding themselves. And so they stay.
I love it. I love it so much. So is it still on a donation basis where people just bring, okay, and where do they go and how does all that work?
So we have a warehouse in each of our locations here in San Diego. It's on Commercial, and you can call ahead and schedule drop-off to drop off all your stuff. We take everything that goes in your home, goes in our home, except for like pianos, because how am I going to get a baby grand anywhere? And then big appliances like refrigerators and ovens and stuff. We don't install anything because if you get to know our process, we install everything in one day.
Oh, okay.
So it's just move in, right? So we have drop off. And then also if you have large things, like we are always in need of mattresses and beds and larger items like sofas, we'll come and pick it up. If you give us a call, we'll schedule a pickup. So 2 ways that you can get your stuff to us, but also volunteering in the warehouse is so much fun because there's music playing and there's people, painting stuff and canvases and it's always a hive of activity. So that's really fun. And then going down to the house. So we interview a family on a Monday. On a Tuesday, our designers pick out the stuff from the warehouse. And then on a Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, or it depends which city has which days for, we call them Days of Joy. 10 people go down to the house at 8 o'clock in the morning. The family has left for the day. We decorate, we furnish. The place is completely empty, goes to completely furnished with art on the walls, everything in the cabinets, full kitchen items, all the beds made, everything. And then the family comes home with their kids at about 3 o'clock after school lets out, and you get to watch them see their place for the first time. So if you've ever seen Extreme Home Makeover.
I can't right now because you talked about you crying. I'm the same way. And I am holding back tears at the vision of the work you get to do every day and seeing these families. Oh, my goodness.
The Santa Claus.
You are.
Of the nonprofit world.
I love everything about this. And it is so important and so beautiful. And what a great take on a crisis and taking it and making it your own beautiful way to serve. I love everything about that.
Well, I often ask myself, if this didn't work, we obviously know UCSD did a study on us that our program really works in many different ways for mental health, financial health, stability. It really works. But I often ask myself, would I still be doing this if it didn't work? And my answer is yes, because that moment of joy and relief it's addicting.
Oh, I bet.
And I just want to get my arms around people who are suffering for just a second and say, it's going to be okay. Yesterday was awful, but today is going to be okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy that tomorrow is also okay, that we've proven out that it works. But boy, I love offering that moment of relief.
I mean, what a beautiful gift. And think about the ripple effect of the impact that you make every single day in the work you do. Treger, this is remarkable. I mean, remarkable. Like I said before we even started, I've been so excited to have this conversation because your heart is so in alignment with everything I think, feel, and believe. And I'm just so happy to know of you and hear about this. We are friends. We are already fast friends. So okay, so you've been doing this now for several years, and you're in how many cities, how many markets?
So we were in 5 markets. We had to just shut down Seattle.
Okay.
So now we're in 4 states around the country, looking to just expand in those markets. We're at 3 homes a week right now, which is insane. We just did our 500th home in San Diego. So I think our gold standard is to figure out how to get to scale in those cities, help everybody who needs us.
Wow. I mean, that's remarkable work. And to think about the impact that you're making, again, like I said, is just incredible. So when you look at the homelessness crisis as it is, because I think that is the only word to describe, where we are, how do you look at that through your own lens? Because you see it differently. We all know that it's a massive issue and problem, but you see it through a different lens, obviously, through the work you do. What are your thoughts, feelings around this?
I think that Humble Design is in a unique position because I don't know of another nonprofit that's in multiple states, in multiple cities, that has interviewed as many people who are on the cusp of homelessness or going through homelessness as we have. The data that we have at Humble, because we do an intake form of like, tell us about yourself, tell us about your story, tell us about your kids, tell us, how we got to this place. The data that we have is insane. It's an incredible amount of data, not to be shared willy-nilly, but to look at it and say, like, what are the commonalities
Right.
here?
How did we get there?
What's going on?
Yeah.
I will tell you, there is very few families and individuals who come through our program who have not been touched by medical debt, health problems, and navigating the healthcare system. There are very few families or individuals who are not working. I think one of the common misconceptions is that nobody has a job. Some of our families have 3 jobs and still can't make ends meet. So I'll tell you what I've learned. I've learned, one, that there is a massive wealth inequality in this country that is getting worse. And if we want to see the middle class grow instead of the middle class shrink into the lower class and the lower class shrink into homelessness, we have to look at this honestly. Making sure that people have not a living wage, but a thriving wage is going to change the homelessness crisis more than any other affordable housing that we can build, mental health services, drug rehabilitation. If we focus on the dignity of having a job that pays you to feel a breath of fresh air and relaxation, and that you can just take your family on 2 vacations a year and live a life where you don't have to panic every time the car dies, that's going to eradicate the homeless situation quicker than any other large sweeping governmental program that we can.
I am so, and I can only imagine through the data that, from your perspective, what you know and see. I believe there is that, you've got to get to that root cause, and there's amazing things that we can do to help or put Band-Aids. It's plugging holes. It's not getting to that root cause that you're talking about. And how wonderful that you have this rich data to see this through.
Right. And so then you hear about programs that give a basic wage, just a living wage to people with no red tape, right? And what that does. And so then when I show people the data of look what happens when people are just given the basic right to live, empathy, dignity, of feeling. Drug use goes down, crime goes down, self-worth goes up, all these things. And so people ask me why Humble Design works. And it's about empathy and dignity and pride. Well, if you have empathy and dignity and pride, you're not self-medicating with drugs.
Yeah.
You're not running around trying to figure out how you're going to put food on the table. Maybe you have to commit crimes. Maybe you have to do something you're not proud of. You're not running around feeling bad about yourself and then feeling bad about other people. And yes, we can build more housing and we can get, rentals down. And I think there's a lot of problems in this country about big corporations owning single family housing, which is a topic for another time.
That's another day.
But I would say when it comes down to dignity, and if you are looking at somebody who's working for minimum wage and not able to pay their bills and feed themselves and give themselves their medication, there is no dignity in that.
You're absolutely right. And I'm sure you see it firsthand every single time. Wow. So where does it go from here? Where do you see Humble going, and how do you continue to make this impact and continue it to grow?
I think so. I was CEO for many years. I took a break. My husband stepped in as CEO while I went and got my master's because I'm a graphic designer. And all of a sudden I'm running a company of 60 people and I'm like, I feel really ill-equipped for this job. I go back to school and actually get a degree in something that's going to make sense.
I love it. I love that you did that.
Well, it helped in the way that I'm like, oh, I have to replace myself. I don't know if anybody's heard of founder syndrome, but it is the death of any nonprofit, sometimes companies, where the founder becomes so important to the mission that when the founder gets burnt out or tired or retires or, God forbid, gets hit by a bus, the nonprofit or company goes away with them.
Yeah.
So I worked for a couple years on replacing myself, which was freaking awesome because watching other people take the mantle and have as much passion about this as I do was so empowering for me.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
So now we have this incredible staff in place, Camelot, I call them, because I never want them to go anywhere.
No, never leave, stay with us.
They're so perfect. And then I get to be founder, right? Which means I get to do podcasts with you and your lovely face. And I get to go on the Kelly Clarkson show, and I get to go and do all these fun things, right? So my next step personally is that I want to evangelize what it means to rebuild systems with empathy and dignity first, rather than as a tack on at the end. So when we're talking about shelters or food subsidies or any kind of program that helps people as a safety net, thinking about them as a number and a problem to be solved is actually compounding our problems because we're human beings.
Right.
And we're complicated, right? And so we cannot be plugged into a formula. What we need to do is we need to start at the very beginning of these programs and say, if I were in this position, what would I want and need? And that's a really tough exercise for programs that have been in place for decades. So that's my next big chunk of my life, is trying to figure out with other nonprofits how to rebuild.
Yeah. And do you partner with a lot of other nonprofits then, or is that not really part of how the model works?
So Humble does partner with nonprofits and shelters to get clients, and then we also talk to furniture banks and stuff like that. We are definitely engaged in the community. Personally, I like to mentor one or two here or there, so we can talk about emerging nonprofits and then also established nonprofits and say, okay, what's working, what's not, and how can we make these changes to make sure that you are treating the person and not the problem.
I love
and
that.
it's been so fun for me because I learned so much building a nonprofit from the ground up with no education in nonprofit. And so I'm able to now hopefully get in front of problems before they start at other nonprofits.
That's amazing. And so along that same line, what do you say to people that are gosh, I've always wanted to start a nonprofit, or where do I go to do that? Do you have sort of any guidance for those folks that may be listening?
I get a call or an email probably 3 times a week.
Oh my gosh.
Of somebody, I'm looking to start a nonprofit. How did you do it? And my answer is don't. Don't do that. Don't do that. 99% of nonprofits that you want to start already exist in your community. Unless you are Humble Design and you fill a hole in the system, which is very rare. Very rare. If you feel very passionately about something and nobody else is doing it, you and I will build a nonprofit from scratch. But I have yet to run across somebody who's found a hole in the system. Usually what happens is you go online and you find somebody who's doing something that needs your help. You go over there and you say, I love what you're doing. I wanted to start something similar. How can I be of service? How can I help? And usually when somebody comes back to me a couple days later and says, oh, I found, the company that was doing something like that. I wanted to do it a little bit differently. I gave them my idea, and now we're working together to make that happen. That is something I cannot stress enough. There are so many nonprofits out there that are good, wonderful, amazing nonprofits that need you.
Well, and they have the infrastructure. So rather than start anew,
they need
team
you.
Yeah, create the team. Yeah.
If you're passionate about something, oh my gosh, please laser point that at a nonprofit who needs you.
I love that. I love that. Well, part of the Leadership Lowdown that I love to showcase the person behind the mission or the business or the nonprofit in this case. So a few fun questions that I think our listeners would love to know. So we'll first and foremost start out with, Treger, what is your favorite word?
I don't know if I can say it on the podcast.
Do we need to bleep it?
Well, okay, wait. I didn't let my children curse. My husband was super strict about this. We didn't let them curse for 13 years. And then it
was like, happy 13th birthday, here you go.
Yeah. Besides that word, my favorite word is, that's a good one. I think that girl.
Girl.
It works on so many levels. Let me
tell you.
Girl. Pause. And then what I'm about to say is super important. And you just said something super important. You said something really stupid. I'm about to say something really stupid. There's somebody hiding in the closet with an axe. It works on so many levels.
I don't know if I love the word more or that you just rattled all of those off within seconds of one another, and it was brilliant. That was a moment. I love it. I've never thought of it that way, but I am going to use it. So I use it, but I am so going to I'm going to own girl.
It's the dude of our generation.
It is the dude. Girl.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. We can't use it with guys.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, you can?
Oh my God, it's so much better with guys because immediately they're like put on notice.
Like,
right?
what?
You're like, girl.
I'm so, okay, I will give you credit every single time. Okay, no, that's a lie. I'm not going to give you credit every single time, but like the first 10 times, and then I'm just going to own it. Is that cool?
Yeah, oh,
okay.
I'm happy to share that.
I love this. What a gift. What a gift. Oh my gosh. That's brilliant. Okay, so flip side, what is your least favorite word?
Oh, hands down, booth. Ugh, who made this word? You sit in a booth. Ugh. It looks like something got caught in your throat. It sounds like what your Adam's apple would look like with no skin on it. Right? It's like disgusting. And it's an ugly word.
It is. I've never
Booth.
really thought booth. Ugh. Love it.
American.
I'm now every time if I go to a restaurant, they say table or booth, I'm literally going to have your face in front of me.
My daughter's listening to this at some point, and she's going to be like, somebody's finally listening to you. I tell her this all the time. She's like, it's enough with the word
It's
booth.
enough. It's enough. Okay, how old's your daughter?
18.
Oh, I've got an almost 18 and a 20-year-old daughter.
I'm so sorry.
They need to be friends.
They
need to be friends.
My apologies for the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. One child?
2. I have a 19-year-old boy.
Okay.
He's at Colorado State, and my daughter is going to FIT in New York City next year.
So fun.
Very excited.
So fun. It's an empty nester.
I know.
Okay, girl.
Get ready.
Fall, we're on this.
Right. It could be totally bad, could be totally good, but still like,
girl, we are on this. Okay, fall, we're getting together. I love this. I love everything about it. Okay, so we talked about your favorite word. You talked about your least favorite word. What else can I ask you? I've got some fun stuff. Okay, so I want to know, and I think people would love to know, what turns you on creatively, spiritually, emotionally? Like, what just lights you up?
I have a bit of the ADD.
Okay.
And so whatever's usually in front of my field of vision, example, I went to go visit colleges with my daughter, and they're all art schools. I have never particularly been interested in fashion, but after looking at the knitting machines and the jewelry making, I'm like, I should make clothes. Right. I have no ability to make clothes, and I've never made clothes, but like I'm laying there, I'm like, what would I make? And I could bring stuff from the thrift store and we'll make it. And then like a squirrel, I'm just like, over there to that thing. I will say the one thing that is consistent in my life and has always been from when I was very little, first able to be aware of the world, is that I wanted to ease suffering in others. It is a driver in my life. And so I never get distracted from that. So whatever it is that is in front of me that's giving me inspiration at the time, it always takes the turn of like, well, how can this make somebody happy, alleviate suffering, make someone's life better? And I don't know exactly if that was nature or nurture, but it always ends up turning that way. Yeah. That's a consistent.
I love that. I love that because that's just been a theme throughout your whole life. And now you get to you have created something that speaks exactly to that mission.
And when I'm not doing it, I'm like, why am I so sad? What's going on in my life? Why am I not like, I feel like I'm not on my path anymore. And I realize it's because I'm like,
you're stepping too far away from it.
I went inward and I'm so much happier when I'm outward.
Treger, there's no doubt that we were supposed to meet because I get that. I get that so much. And it's funny because you're talking about ending suffering. For me, it's about inspiring greatness, right? Like, how do I help people tap into, like, it's almost like I see it in them sometimes before they see it in them. So I'm like, it's that. I want to bring that out. And I totally understand that when you are too far removed, like if I'm not speaking, coaching, training, if I'm not in that element, I'm like, why am I sad today? I'm like, oh, because I'm doing office stuff or I'm doing other stuff that's pulling me away from the thing that lights my soul on fire. So I so hear you on that. I love that.
I get a question all the time now, which is like, I'm not feeling good about the world. I'm not feeling good. Like, what can I do in this moment to feel better and connected with the world? And my answer is always the same. Do the one thing that you've been putting off for somebody else. I should bring my neighbor that plate of cookies. I should stop off at the nonprofit. I see them out there all the time. I don't know what they do. I really should write that note to my friend who I haven't spoken to in a while. The thing that you've been putting off for somebody else, do it today, do it now, and do it again tomorrow, and do something. Wake up in the morning with the mantra is, I'm just going to do one small thing. You don't have to start a nonprofit.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a congresswoman.
Yep.
You should do that one small thing for the person you're doing it for, but I guarantee you it will come back to you and ricochet in a way that you were not expecting.
I think that's the most brilliant word of wisdom. I love everything about that. Love it. So if ending suffering, being in this space is what sets your soul on fire, what you love, what turns you off?
That's a good question. I have it's different now than when I was younger, but as at this ripe old age of 47, my tolerance for just being mean, people who are just mean, my tolerance is little. And I like to think like I have empathy for everybody and like I want to put myself in your position. But if I see you being mean to somebody else or mean to myself or mean to somebody who's vulnerable, I have such little tolerance for that. And so I'm out in the world and okay, example. My husband and I are trying to find a parking spot at Dog Beach, and somebody goes the wrong way down the one way in this giant truck, and it tries to cut us off just as we're going and parking into the parking space. And I get out, and my little head just pops right off my body, right?
Yeah.
I'm like a cartoon character.
Right, like a little chihuahua.
And meanwhile, there's this giant dude in a raised truck with muscles and everything, and my husband comes out, he's like, you're going to get murdered.
Right,
so
like
you
what are you doing?
Turn it down. Turn it down. And I go, honey, go out there and give him a fruit basket, because all of that anger and rage that I just directed at him, you're going to have a fantastic month. Like, it's all out. He did you a huge favor. So I think I just save up that like frustration that I have in life for people who are just like trying to be mean or cut corners or stomp on the little guy, and then I let it all out, and then I feel light as a bird.
Yeah. I want to see you. I want to see you in that moment, getting out of your car going, girl.
And you know what? I don't know if you can see me on this podcast, but I'm 5'1",
yeah.
and like, you know, I'm like a chihuahua that way.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So what sound or noise do you love?
This is going to be controversial, but I like the ASMR, like the whisper
tapping.
Do you?
Okay, so my girls were really into that when it was like the big TikTok thing, but like I didn't get it at all, but you love it.
But it literally, I think it's genetic. Like there's some people who hate it, some people who love it. Now I will tell you a secret.
Yeah.
I love crime drama.
Okay.
And there's a crime drama with ASMR, and they will whisper the gory details of someone's murder into your ear at night. Puts me right out.
Wow. You heard it here first on the Leadership Lowdown. If that is not a tip of tips, who knew? Wow. Okay.
We can't all be super healthy.
It's a little out there, but you know, Treger, I'm going with it.
I am who I am.
And I love that. I love that about you and for you. So what sound or noise do you hate? Like what just drives you bonkers?
What sound do I hate? So a lot of sound. So
okay, so like an influx.
Yeah, like I think that there's like 2 TVs on, and like people are trying to talk to me and they're yelling, and there's like a lot. I need quiet every once in a while, and I do think it has to do with my ADD. I think that like my brain can't have too many inputs at once. It's because I can't focus.
Yeah.
So if I'm in a situation and I'm starting to get angry or nervous, and I realize, everybody just shut all of their sound off, I immediately come back down to
You
zero.
just kind of mute the world and you're good. Makes perfect sense. So if you were not doing the amazing, beautiful, life-changing work that you do, what profession other than your own would you love to attempt?
Okay, so my husband and I had a TV show for a hot second.
Okay.
We had 1 season of Welcome Home, which is just filming us decorate families' homes for the homeless.
Right.
And I friggin' loved it. I loved it.
Oh.
It was a lot of work, and I ground myself to dust. And then I got to be on the Kelly Clarkson show, and then I got to be on like Rachel Ray and all that stuff, and like I really love it.
Yeah.
I think that I would get exhausted by it, and I definitely don't want to be famous because I like just like going about my day and like wearing bad clothes. Yeah. There's a lot of pressure in being, you know, a
100%.
figure.
100%.
But I like the actual filming of it, or maybe the theater of it. And so I would think that in the performing arts in some way.
Okay.
Rad.
Is there something that like a profession that you're like, oh heck no, never. Like I would hate that.
I like hard work, so like I wouldn't mind being like a waitress, or you know I did all those, and I'm the one who cleans the toilets when we go into the houses. Like I like that hard work, but I think that cleaning houses for a living would probably not be a great job for me. 1, because I don't think I'm good at it, and 2, I think that would be a lot of grueling work, and I feel for every single person out there who has to keep up their own house like I do. It sucks.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
And doing it for other people, it's just like, and then you get home at night, you're like, I got to do this for myself too.
Yeah.
You got to love cleaning, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be really all in.
Do you watch those cleaning videos online, like the fast ones, like the Instagram reels?
I don't.
I'm obsessed because I don't think I can do it for myself. Like, I think if my house got that way, I'd just be like, this is what I am now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, we're just living with this. So if heaven exists, what would you love to hear he or she say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Thank you for taking care of my flock.
Oh, and that was like instant for you. You didn't even need to pause. Okay. So your eyes are welling. My eyes are welling. And here's the thing. You know, there's certain people you meet in your life, Treger, where you're just like, ooh, I can feel their heart. I can feel your heart. And I don't doubt that I am not the first person to have told you that. Wow. I don't doubt for a second that that's what you'll hear many, many years from now.
I myself, I'm not sure about them pearly gates, so it's not why I do any that I do.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think at some point that I'm here to take care of other people, and that's my calling. That's my life.
I love everything about that. That's amazing. Well, thank you for the work that you do. Wow. I would love to wrap up with just, you gave us so much wisdom and so many tips, but the Leadership Lowdown is all about, what is that nugget? What is that one thing that if you could end today with just something to share with our listeners and viewers, any word of wisdom or tip or something, whether it's about business or life or humanity or anything you want?
Well, I love that you find other people's spark, or you can see it in them before they. Mm-hmm. So I made the mistake early on of surrounding myself with people who didn't see my spark and who I chased after them to get them to see it.
Okay.
And I thought that there was value in that. There is no value in chasing somebody who doesn't see you in business and life. The value is surrounding yourself with people who already see you and want to see more of that in you. Wow. And my husband is in love with me. The people in my company know my worth. I know theirs, and there is absolutely there's no shame in saying, I don't know how to do that. Can you help me? Because we all feel good about each other.
Yeah.
So surround yourself with people you want to see every morning when you go into work, and don't think about whether or not you can prove yourself to them in the long run. Well,
and how beautiful, because everything you do allows other people to be seen, and it allows other people to feel their worth. So everything you're saying is exactly what you do and the gift that you give to this world. So thank you for doing Humble Design, for creating this amazing, amazing business, nonprofit, however you want to frame it, just creating this beautiful gift for our world. We need you, and I so appreciate you. And what a beautiful conversation. So thank you for making time to be with us today.
This was fun.
This was so fun.
Let's do this again.
Yeah, I know. Can we do a part 2?
A good time.
I love it. Well, thank you, Treger, so much. And thank you to all of our viewers, listeners, for being with us today. What a gift. This has been the Leadership Lowdown. My name is Jodi Low. It has been an absolute pleasure being with you. And with that, remember, remain curious, because leaders are learners, and keep leading with love.